When the Osgood battalion hiding behind that badge pulls you over, we're gonna see. When the cartel hiding behind that badge pulls you over, we're gonna see. And I promise you, you're going to wish it was a black American brother then. And we'll see about that soon enough. Back in April of last year, I reported on how there was an attempt being made in California to remove the requirements of being a citizen of the United States in order to be a law enforcement officer. Well, as of this year, in the state of California, it is now legal for non-citizens to become a police officer under California Senate Bill 960, or simply put, SB 960. SB 960 eliminates a requirement that peace officers be either U.S. citizens or permanent residents applying for citizenship. The law simply requires that anyone applying to be a law enforcement officer be legally authorized to work in the United States. Now, outside of the absurdity that you no longer have to be a U.S. citizen in order to be a police officer, the second thing that stood out to me is the quietness with which this bill was passed. Now, I know some of you may be saying, well, this is a local issue within California, so why would this be blasted all over national news? And though you may have a point to a degree when stating that, what I find odd is that not even the local news here in California, and to be even more specific to where I live, in Los Angeles, did you hear any mention of this bill being passed. This bill was quietly passed in the dead of night with no one knowing about it. So much so that if you do a Google search for SB 960, it is almost impossible to find any coverage of this bill being passed. At best, the majority of the search results that pop up will be non-mainstream fringe news sites that discussed last year how this bill was on the table to possibly being passed. But as it pertains to follow-ups on it, one of the only sites that actually covered SB 960's passing was this website here called Los Angeles Blade, Southern California's LGBTQ news source. Yes, an LGBTQ news site is one of the only sites that actually covered this. And outside of them, it is virtually radio silent. Now let's get specific. What does all this actually mean when we are discussing the elimination of the requirements of being a U.S. citizen or permanent resident? Well, U.S. Tech Workers, a Twitter page that follows all news covering immigration and immigration policies, states this. That means foreign students with OPT work permits, spouses of H-1B visa workers with H-4 HEAD, DACA recipients, spouses of L-1 visa workers, illegal aliens with employment authorization documents, EADs, are all eligible to apply in becoming law enforcement officers in California. Now follow me for a moment as I play this quick news clip of CBS New York, where a reporter had a sit down with Mayor Eric Adams on how he planned to handle the, at the time, newfound influx of illegal immigrants being bused to New York City.
The mayor speaking as another convoy of buses filled with asylum seekers arrived at the Port Authority bus terminal from Texas. By mid-afternoon, 4 buses had arrived, as many as 3 more expected by the end of the day. And with 11,600 sent to the city in the past few months, the mayor disclosed to us that he can't open the shelters and hotels fast enough.
We have opened 23 emergency shelters. We are predicted with the influx of opening probably 38 additional emergency shelters, so we have to find temporary measures to address this issue.
The mayor also says he is working with the feds, the Biden administration, to speed up the process of getting work permits for the asylum seekers so they can start supporting themselves. Governor Hochul has also said that thousands of jobs are available all over the state.
That is unbelievable when you think about the insanity of this whole concept of telling people you're not allowed to work.
Look at how Mayor Eric Adams is working with Joe Biden to expedite illegal immigrants in New York receiving their employment authorization documents, EADs. Now, though this law did not pass in New York, obviously, it's only a matter of time before it does, because remember, New York City was the same city in which its city council passed a law that allowed non-citizens the right to vote in local elections. But fortunately, it was struck down by New York Supreme Court. Now, whether or not this will be struck down by California Supreme Court is yet to be seen. But I will say this in closing. For those of you who are strong advocates of police reform and the need to combat police brutality and police killings, now is the time more than ever for Black Americans to be joining the police force in droves. And to be quite honest with you, and I know some of you may not like this, but I'm not interested in hearing excuses of how Black folks joining the police force doesn't mean anything, because it's for sure going to mean something when across the nation you got a bunch of non-citizens busting you upside your head behind an LAPD badge. It's going to mean something then. It's most definitely going to mean something to you when that Osgoff Battalion shield has been replaced with an NYPD shield, and now they're busting you upside your head. It's going to mean something then. In the tweet that I saw which first informed me of this bill passing, one of the #1 concerns that I saw from people is the possibility of cartel infiltration of law enforcement. Once again, when they start busting you upside your head or worse, it's going to mean something then. So like I stated earlier, for those of you who are big on police reform, police brutality, and police killings, well, all I can say is that you've now been properly informed on what's going on out here. So now the ball is in your court. Oh, it doesn't mean anything to have an all-Black police force. Look at Baltimore. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll find out soon enough. When the Osgoff Battalion hiding behind that badge pulls you over, we're gonna see. When the cartel hiding behind that badge pulls you over, we're gonna see. And I promise you, you're going to wish it was a Black American brother then. And we'll see about that soon enough. But until then, you've been informed. And with all that being said, that does it for today's video. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below. And also, please make sure you text tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That way you'll get a text notification whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as an insurance plan for myself. So in case YouTube ever gives me the axe, I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. And last but certainly not least, for those of you who have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel, the #1 way you can show your support is through Patreon. For only $3 a month, that will help put me in position to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. And for those of you who have issues with joining Patreon, you can also hit the join button that's next to the subscribe button, and that way you can become an official channel member for as little as $3 a month as well. And lastly, if you haven't already, please make sure you join the emailing list. There is no way that I can go independent of YouTube if I cannot take the audience with me. And the link to that will be pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you for your time, and until the next video, peace.